We're always on the lookout for something new, an upgrade to whatever it is that we're playing. Wuwa, Genshin, Dark Knights, NTE, Blue Archive, Nikke. Okay, nobody could get bored with Nikke. Have you seen their waifus? Today, I put together a list of 16 upcoming gacha games that you need to be actively aware of. I will note that this does not include every single upcoming gacha game, and I know that I've opted to not include some that you might be personally interested in, but this should at the very least set you on the right path moving into 2027. Not all of these games are releasing in 2026. Quite a few of them are probably going to be releasing in 2027 or 2028. We're going to tackle this alphabetically now, beginning with Ananta. Ananta is developed by Naked Rain, a subsidiary of NetEase. It is being published by NetEase Games. It features a real-time action combat system. It is an urban open-world RPG. There have been multiple different beta tests thus far. There was a demo at TGS 2025. I got to personally participate in this. I was flown out to Tokyo Game Show to do a sponsored showcase at the Ananta booth specifically. There are more beta tests planned. A release date was speculated for 2026, but it's much more likely to be releasing in 2027. The reason I'm including this here is because it's going to have a cosmetic gacha, potentially a vehicle gacha. It just does not have character gacha. So think something more akin to a game like Where Winds Meet. Ananta is an urban open world action RPG set in the vibrant anime-styled Nova City. You take on the role of an elite agent with a lot of freedom to explore. You swing between buildings like Spider-Man, you drive vehicles, you engage in PvP. They have confirmed that there's going to be functional PvP involved. You customize your outfits, you customize your cars, you customize your home. This is going to be the closest GTA experience that we're going to get. At number 2, we have Aniimo. This is developed and published by Paw Print Studio. It features an action combat system. It has a beautiful, vibrant open world. There have been multiple test phases already. There are upcoming test phases as well. Mrs. Stix and I, my wife, are both going to be participating in the next one. We've also been sponsored on numerous different occasions. There is no confirmed release date at present. Aniimo is a charming, stylized, open-world action RPG with strong, very, very strong Pokemon-like creature collection and exploration. You'll explore a vibrant, very highly interactable world. You'll collect and train a variety of different creatures, evolve them, and engage in action combat in a whimsical, very visually appealing setting. At number 3, we have Astrae Oratio. It is being developed and in theory published by Dynamis One. It features an action strategy combat system. It has open world elements. There have been no beta tests up until this point, but there are some planned for, in theory, 2026. There is no confirmed release date yet. People are speculating 2027. Astrae Oratio is a strategic action game with strong narrative and oratorial style storytelling elements. Unfortunately, not much is known about the game outside of that. Coming in at number 4, we have Azur Promilia, developed and published by Manju. It features action combat. It has a beautiful, vibrant open world. There have been multiple closed beta tests in China, in Japan, in Korea, nothing globally, unfortunately, up until this point. The release date, in theory, according to Nexon, is happening in 2026 in Korea, but 2027 is expected for most of the world. Azur Promilia is a colorful open-world fantasy RPG centered on creature companionship. You're going to bond with mysterious creatures called Kibo. You're going to explore a vast continent, engage in action combat with various different party members, and have a functional building and life sim style of gameplay loop. It's like a less violent version of Pow World. At number 5, we have Chasing Kaleidorider, developed by Fizzleglee Studio, a subsidiary of Tencent, and published by Tencent and Proxima Beta. It features an action strategy combat system. It does not have an open world. There have been multiple beta tests up until this point. There's another one coming. I've been personally invited to it, and we're going to be doing sponsored streams and videos. I was also personally invited to TGS back in 2025 to do a sponsored showcase as well. I've thoroughly enjoyed this game. It is super degenerate and super gooner, but I can't wait for you guys to get to experience it as well. There is no confirmed release date yet. A lot of people are speculating 2026. Chasing Kaleidorider is a 3D Doki Doki romance RPG featuring beautiful rider girls. These are motorbike mecha waifus set in a futuristic city called Terminus. You take on the role of a navigator, you build relationships with the girls, and then you experience motorcycle action and romantic storylines in this beautiful, flashy, very character-driven package. Then at number 6, we have Honkai Nexus Anima, developed and published by Hoyoverse. It features an auto-battler strategy style of combat. They have stated that it is going to be an open-world gacha game. There have been 2 different closed beta tests thus far. Unfortunately, there is no confirmed release date. People are speculating 2027 because Petit Planet is likely going to release before this game does. Honkai Nexus Anima is a creature collector adventure strategy game set in the Honkai universe. Players are going to travel across planes, bond with mysterious anima creatures. You're going to build decks, engage in auto-battler style combat while exploring the beautiful, large open world and collecting. At number 7, we have Honor of Kings World, developed by Timmy Studio Tencent and published by Tencent. It features an action combat system. It has a beautiful, large open world with Eastern fantasy. Honestly, one of the only games of its kind. There have been alpha tests, there have been beta tests. Mrs. Stix and I were flown out to Gamescom 2025. We got to do a showcase on the stage for this, which was really freaking cool. We got invited to the most recent beta test, which we also got to showcase in video form. In theory, it could be launching in 2026. If not, it'll be launching in 2027. Honor of Kings World has been labeled by many to be an MMORPG, but it's not really. It has a lot of MMO elements, but it's more accurate to call it a large-scale multiplayer online RPG. It expands on the popular Honor of Kings MOBA IP. You're going to get to explore beautiful, diverse civilizations. You're going to get to engage in large-scale action combat, swap heroes dynamically, and participate in various different kinds of multiplayer content across one of the arguably most detailed, rich worlds that both Mrs. Stix and I have played in all year. At number 8, we have MIRESI, developed by Control 9 and published by Smilegate. It features a tactical type of real-time and semi-automated hybrid combat. It does not have an open world. Mrs. Stix and I got sponsored to do a showcase at Tokyo Game Show in 2025. The game was beautiful. The characters were phenomenal. This might be one of the biggest Gunner Gacha game releases of the year. Beta tests are upcoming. It has not been confirmed to be releasing in 2026, but if it does, this is going to take the world by storm. MIRESI is a collectible time-traveling RPG where you fight to save the future across different eras. It's actually developed from ex-Nikkei vets and allows for you to engage your waifus in some, let's just say, extracurricular activities. At number 9, we have Petit Planet, developed and published both by Hoyoverse. It is a life sim gacha game, one of the few I think out there with an open hybrid open world. There have been test phases up until this point. A release date is speculated for 2026. At the very latest, it'll be releasing in 2027. Petit Planet is a cozy, gacha-driven life sim game that is actually very reminiscent of Animal Crossing with creature and planet building elements. You'll explore, you'll customize, and you'll manage your own little world while collecting and interacting with characters in this relaxed, charming, Hoyoverse-style experience, which means every single couch, carpet, table is going to cost you $200 to $300. Then at number 10, we have Project 2/3 Utopia, developed by Diversity Game Studio and published by, at present, Diversity Game Studio. It features an action combat system. It's going to have a large open world. There have been no beta tests up until this point. There is no confirmed release date at this point. Project 2/3 Utopia is an ambitious indie open world action RPG with beautiful anime style visuals. It has large scale exploration. It has fluid combat, very high production values that have honestly generated a lot of community hype. But unfortunately, this game has, after the release of its first trailer, been all but silent. Given the style of game that it is, given the fact that you can move between dimensions and eras, this is going to offer players something very different to what's currently available. If only they would give us more to go off of. At number 11, we have Project RX, developed by RX Studio. This is a subsidiary of Nexon and published by Nexon Games. It features a tactical, strategic combat system, kind of similar but evolved from Blue Archive, because this is actually done by the Blue Archive team, or an expanded version of the Blue Archive team. It is not an open world gacha game. Internal beta tests have been completed. There have been no public beta tests up until this point. People are speculating a release in 2026. I don't think that's accurate. I think at the earliest it would release in 2027, but likely late 2027, early 2028. Project RX is a 3D anime style isekai lifestyle RPG developed by Nexon's RX Studio, once again featuring key developers from the Blue Archive team. It blends fantasy adventure with slice of life and life sim elements set in a fully 3D world. featuring strategic character-driven combat, deep character interactions, and cinematic skill sequences. It's also being built on Unreal Engine 5, and their goal here is to expand on Blue Archive's formula with more immersive living world elements. Coming in at number 12 is Rewinding Cadence, developed by Star Oasis Studios and published by, potentially, Star Oasis Studios. It features a full action combat system. Many people have been comparing this to Wuthering Waves, actually. This is also a full open world game. There is an upcoming beta test planned to happen. Recruitment is open. It is speculated to be releasing in 2027 at the earliest. Rewinding Cadence is a groundbreaking open world action RPG centered on time loop mechanics. You play as a recursor who's trapped in repeating cycles of doom, and you need to reset to learn, to change outcomes, and then to subsequently save the world. It features Dungeons and Dragons style player choices, spirit companions, a functional gliding and flying system, narrative consequences that actually carry across loops. This could potentially redefine how narratives play out in gacha games if it ultimately ends up being a success. Then at number 13, we have Sea of Remnants, developed by Joker Studio and published by NetEase. It features a hybrid strategic turn-based combat system. It is also set in a large open world with direct access to the ocean. There have been test phases held already, with more speculated to be happening in the future. It is releasing in 2026 in China. People are speculating a 2027 release globally, but it might release in 2026 globally as well. We don't know yet. Sea of Remnants is a free-to-play ocean fantasy adventure RPG where you play as a puppet folk sailor seeking lost memories. You sail across a massive dynamic sea. You battle pirates and strange monsters. You build your fleet and your crew with over 300 different companions. You shape the evolving pirate city of Utopia through your choices. It blends essentially a Sea of Thieves style exploration and naval combat with tactical turn-based island battles, along with this unique dark wooden doll puppet punk style aesthetic, which is really, really cool. At number 14, we have Silver Palace, developed by Silver Studio and published by Elementa, a subsidiary of Silver Studio. It features a real-time action combat system. It is set in a large open world. A beta test was held. Mrs. Stix and I were both sponsored and invited to their beta test, and it was arguably one of the most polished beta tests we have ever played. A release date is unconfirmed. We're speculating 2027 at the earliest. Silver Palace is a stylish open world action RPG set in the shadowy, industrialized Victorian metropolis of Silvernia. Players act as detectives, solving mysteries while battling enemies with fluid, high-quality combat. It is built in Unreal Engine 5 with stunning visuals. It blends investigation, action, and atmospheric storytelling in this beautiful dark fantasy setting. At number 15, we have Varsapura, developed and published both by Hoyoverse. It features action combat. It is set in a large open world. They are in theory holding a test phase at some point in 2026. A release date has not been confirmed. I wouldn't expect it to release in 2027. This is an enormous large-scale endeavor. I think late 2027, early 2028 would probably be accurate. Varsapura is an ambitious open-world action RPG with psychological thriller and supernatural tones. You join the mysterious organization SEAL to investigate disruption events, battle shadowy monsters, and explore a modern supernatural world filled with shifting environments and a lot of narrative intrigue. It features very high production Unreal Engine 5 visuals and a darker, more mature tone than your typical Hoyoverse titles. And finally, at number 16 here, I know this has been a long ride, we have Wang Yue, developed by Star Studios and also published by Star Studios. It features an action combat system. It is fully open world. Betas are currently ongoing. There are more planned. The release date is unconfirmed. I wouldn't expect it to release in 2026. 2027 is probably more likely. Wang Yue is an open world action RPG set in a modern Chinese fantasy world. It has an urban style of exploration with fantastical elements, offering this Pokemon-inspired creature collection with Zelda-inspired vehicle creation, where you can essentially use anything you find out in the world to put together an actual functional vehicle that you can ride. The game has continued to get progressively better and better over time, and I have no doubt in my mind that that's going to continue to be the case. And those are 16 upcoming gacha games that you should be actively aware of. These fill multiple different genres: turn-based, action combat, open world, semi-open world, not open world at all, gooner, non-gooner, you name it, it is in this list. Hopefully, these games satiate your thirst for something new, and be on the lookout for more videos like this. I know you think that you just hit the end of the video, and technically, yeah, You have, and I know your first reaction is to close out of it at this juncture, but don't. No, instead, I urge you to take a moment here and click one of the videos on screen that are coming up in just a moment so you remain up to date with everything going on in the gacha genre. Trust me, you are not going to regret doing so. Stay flaccid.